Harry and Ron got up bright and early in preparation for their first Defense Against the Dark Arts class. However, not everyone was quite as lively that morning.
Hermione! We've got Defense Against the Dark Arts class! Hurry up!
I'm on my way!
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban on the PS2 Let's Play. I'm so used to saying walkthrough. This is part 3, and as you can see, we are for the first time playing as Hermione Granger, and we are in the girls' dormitory, and as you can see, she has a lot of books around her bed, under her bed, beside her bed. It looks amazing. I love her bed, and they have pink drapery around their bed instead of red, as the boys do. So today we have Defense Against the Dark Arts class, which is the first lesson that we have in the game. So we basically need to make our way there, but we're going to explore a little bit before we go to the class. For example, in here is a Folio Bruti page, I believe. Yeah. And if I remember correctly, that is for the troll, and I'm very sure that I remember that correctly. So in this game, as in the two other games, we have a notice board, and the point of the notice board is that students write on the notice board their missing items, so that you can go and find their missing items and then you return them and you can get house points. I believe in the previous games you actually got wizard cards in one of them and house points in the other. So we're just up to the boys' dormitory again because Ron needs to search his trunk to get this wizard card. So yeah, I'm just showing you guys a couple of things that you can get while exploring this game. As I said, I'm not doing like a 100% walkthrough, it's just a let's play. But I just thought that I could just show you guys a few things as I'm going through the game, because why not? It's just good to show you guys some extra stuff that you can get in the game. There's a lot of wizard cards and other extra stuff that you can do, and some stuff that you can get from Fred and George's shop actually that you can also do. In the next part we'll actually go to Fred and George's shop to look at some of the extra tasks that we can get from them. So as I said, we're going to the Defense Against the Dark Arts class. And we're not going to go to the grand staircase just yet. We're going to take a little, it's not a shortcut at all, but it's a secret passage. Ron, as you know, can search things. So he can go inside here, and here's another chest with a wizard card.
Good.
Oh, it's actually a Folio Bruti page. That's nice. So this is like an secret passage. It says shortcut to the 4th floor. It is a shortcut to the 4th floor. And by the way, over there are some nice stuff that you can get. But we can't do that just yet because we need another spell. This is a shortcut to the 4th floor, which has the History of Magic class, which we will not attend in this game, or in any other games actually. It is a shortcut to the 4th floor, but not to the grand staircase, because that would just be a long way around. And I need some water because I get really dry in my throat when I talk so much. So dung bombs. So search here, and we are now on the 4th floor. As you can see, it kind of looks like a library. One thing I wish we could do in this game is go to Hogwarts library, but you can't in this game, which is a bit sad. But you were able to do that in the first and second games, and the library in those games is just amazing. It's a really good library, but you can't go to the library in this one, which is a bit of a bummer, but you know, what can you do? So we're now entering the 3rd floor. Right in here. And for some reason the characters always do that strange thing when you enter a room. They just kind of walk strange. So out here, Gunilla, of course, more corridor. I love how the corridors have names.
I heard that the first spell we're learning is really powerful. Do you think we should go in?
There are already people in the classroom. I think it's time to go in.
Shall we go in?
I know these suits of armor can't see me, but they still give me the creeps.
So let's just enter the class, the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom.
Hermione, Ron, Harry, would you come here, please? I would like you to go in there and bring back the Glacius Spell book.
So Professor Lupin just briefly told us what spell we're going to learn in this class, and that is the Glacius Spell. It's a freezing spell, so we need to find that spell book. It's somewhere in this challenge. So loads of Pixies. We've already met Pixies a few times in this game, like already, and as you can see, the Pixies pick up characters and then they drop them, just like they did with Ron, and they just briefly picked up Hermione there. So the Pixies can be a bit annoying, but we still need to deal with them. What you're supposed to do here is that all 3 of the characters have to pick up this cauldron. I think it's a cauldron anyway. And then move it over to this button, and when you drop the cauldron on the button, it's like a weight. The weight of the cauldron will open these 2 gates, and then we can continue onwards. And here is also a chest which has a wizard in it. I always like try to test myself. I can remember what's in the chests because I know this game very well. It was actually the first Harry Potter game that I ever got. I remember it very well. I remember actually I was looking for Philosopher's Stone on the PS2, but I bought this instead because I didn't have Philosopher's Stone. But I do think this game is I don't know which one is better because I do like both of them, and they're both good. So we need to make our way all the way over there. So because this spell that we're getting is Glacius, which is the freezing spell, the challenge sort of has the atmosphere is kind of it's kind of like a snowy, icy place. So there's a lot of ice around here, and it's very cold, and that is because the Glacius spellbook is a freezing spell, so of course the challenge is going to look a bit icy, and I do like that. It wouldn't really make a lot of sense if it was like greenery and it was like a forest. It wouldn't really make sense to the spell. I noticed that they do that a lot in the Harry Potter games. I also remember in Philosopher's Stone on the PS2, I remember this because I said that about the forest. when you were learning Defendo in herbology, the challenge had kind of like, it was in a forest, so the atmosphere and the look of the challenge always corresponds with which kind of a spell it is, and I do like that. And I just turned this the other way than I was supposed to. It still works, but it takes more time that way. And some house points. 60 house points. And there's more pixies. I told you guys there would be a lot of pixies in this game. And pixies are not really my favorite. They are a bit annoying. And we have these things again, as I said the first time when we saw them in the previous part. I don't know what these are, so I have no idea what I should call them. But it's kind of like mechanism, machine, something like that. I don't know. I have no idea what I should call them. But there's two of them in here, and they kind of raise the rocks, so that you can jump on them and get to the other side. So they do help you to get around, which of course is a good thing. And I like the fact that this challenge is kind of like an ice challenge, because today is the 21st of December. So it's the Christmas holidays, and this ice thing helps me to get into the Christmas mood, which I'm not really in. I don't really have like a Christmas mood this year, which is a bit sad, because I almost always am in a Christmas mood around Christmas times. But this year I'm not really, which is a bit sad. So we just entered another room. Each time we enter a room in this challenge, the camera just seems to go over the room and give us an overview.
Over there. Will that do anything?
And this is another puzzle thing. The puzzles in this game aren't really that hard, because it is a children's game. Let's be real. So what you have to do is to just, you can probably see that, I don't think we should call it a door, but it's kind of like a wall up there, top right corner, and we have to lower that. And how you do that is by standing on all three of the buttons on the ground. But we only have 3 characters, and one of the characters have to go through and search inside there. So yeah, there's a switch in there, and we have to get to it. So Ron and Hermione need to stand on 2 of the buttons, and this crate has to stand on top of the 3rd one. So yeah, that's basically how you do this puzzle. It's very simple, it's easy. As I told you, there's not really any puzzles in this game that are really hard or difficult to figure out. They're all quite easy, because it is a children's game. And that's why I'm playing it, because it gives me nostalgic feelings. And here's another Folio Bruti page, but let's press the switch. And there's some more house points over there. So let's go over here and collect the house points. And here's another one of these crazy books, just like the one that Peeves threw at us. It's the same type of thing. To defeat it, just cast Expelliarmus to bounce back the spells that the book shoot at you. And that's very simple. That's how you do it. And that's the book defeated. If I remember correctly, we need Ron for this. So just switch to Ron. and go up here and search this wall.
There's something just about here. Whoa! Well, that worked. Ron, what's it like in there? Dark. And painful.
Can you see anything?
Yes! And see me!
So these creatures are called salamanders. As you can see, they have kind of like a blue color, and that's because they are so cold. Later on in the challenge we will actually meet red ones. And they are red because they are so hot. Because there will be fire later on. But let's hit this machinery.
Hermione! Get off!
Oh, he's calling for Hermione. So Hermione will of course help him against these pixies. So always Ron has a really good luck, and he just ruined that machine, and for some reason it always seems to be Ron that gets picked up by the pixies. I don't know why that is. So Hermione needs to crawl under here because as I've said before, Hermione is the only one who can crawl under small spaces. And now we get into this room. It's quite simple, you just have to get out of this room. But the thing is, it takes a lot of time to push these ice blocks all over the place. And it's not really a fun thing to do, I think. So so you can see that there's 2 chests up there, and I want to get to the chests. So I'm going to push these ice blocks so that you will be able to get up. And as you can see right now, that button will lower that one, so we need to have an ice block on there to be able to get through. But I'm just going to open the 2 chests right over here so that we can get some extra beans. Which is of course good, because we need the beans. Because as I told you guys, you need to get beans so that you can buy stuff in Fred and George's shop. And we will actually go to Fred and George's shop in the next part to buy some stuff. And now we need to move the ice blocks all the way back. And I just pushed it back. I didn't mean to do that. So just turn the ice blocks all the way back so that one of the ice blocks can sit on top of the switch, so that the ice on the other level will lower like that, so that we can get through. So just jump down, and now we have to move this ice block around. This one is quite simple. All you do is this, and then you have one more push and you will be able to get up. Just like that. And don't miss this chest right over here, because there is a wizard card in it.
Good.
We've already gotten quite a lot of wizard cards actually, and we're only on part 3, so that's quite good. And there is the Glacius Spellbook, so let's just drop down and pick up the Glacius Spellbook.
Got it! The Glacius Spellbook!
And oh, there's a lot of fire. So we just got the Glacius Spell, so equip it instead of Expelliarmus. And what you need to do now is to use Glacius to freeze the water so that you can get across. I do think this is water. I don't think it's supposed to be lava because it kind of looks a bit see-through. So there's a few torches around here, and what you do to defeat them is just freeze them. And then you cast Flipendo. You don't have to defeat all of these torches because you can easily get through without doing that. So you don't need to do it at all. And another with guard, and let's just move on. Let's just run away from the torches because I'm not really bothered to defeat some things when you don't really need to do it. And here is yet another puzzle. And another chest over here. There's a lot of chests in this game, actually. They're just throwing the wizard cards around. But this is a fully Bruta page. We've got quite a lot of those too, actually. So that's good. That's magic. Just freeze the water and it becomes a huge block of ice. And Hermione must be rather strong to be able to push this. But I'm not complaining. We need to use this block to get to that switch up there so that there will come some stairs out so that we can climb up. Very, very simple puzzles. Not hard at all. There's not actually many spell challenges in this game. I actually think there's only 2 proper spell challenges, but you do get spell books outside of the spell challenges too. There are 2 spell challenges, but I guess you can kind of say there's 3. But there's 2 that you actually have in class, but the third one, which is kind of like a spell challenge, is not in class. It's difficult to explain. You'll see when we get further into the game. It is an interesting game. And here's a chocolate frog if you need it. I didn't really need it. And I like the fact that you don't have to cast the Flipendo at the chocolate frog now before eating it as you had to do in the other games. That was kind of like a hassle. And Ron and Harry are just like looking up at Hermione, looking very confused. So here are the fiery salamanders, as I told you about. So when Hermione picked up the spellbook, everything just turned into fire instead of ice. What you need to do with these salamanders to defeat them is that you have to put out the fires on the ground, because if you don't do that, the salamanders will just turn into fire again. So you have to put out the fires before taking out the salamanders. And just freeze them and use Flipendo. Very simple. And there the gate opened, so now we can escape from the spell challenge. I actually like this challenge because there's a lot of rocks, and I love caves and rocks and that sort of things. But it's not that easy to escape from the spell challenge, as we will quickly find out.
Oh, this is just brilliant.
And we have a boss battle before the end of the spell challenge. I don't know what to call this boss. It's kind of like a cauldron. It's that cauldron that we lifted just previously in this spell challenge. This part has actually been quite long. Quite a lot of these parts will be long because I like to keep the whole day in one part. I just don't really like to split all of the days up, but I will have to do that at some point. But I just don't like doing that. So what you need to do with this boss, firstly you have to freeze and destroy the arms of the boss, and after you've destroyed both of the arms, you can destroy the head. But first you need to do the arms. And to do that, you firstly have to freeze him, like that, and you will become very, very angry, as you can tell. And he will shoot the arm at you, like that, and just freeze it and use Flipendo at it. Very, very simple. And now it only has one more health left, and that health is for his head. So we just have to wait a little bit before attacking him again. He will kind of like open and close this last time. His mouth, that is. And now he will open again and just quickly freeze him, and that will be the end of the boss battle and the spell challenge. Oh, that was a cute smile. That's the end of the spell challenge. Collect the house points, and now we will make our way back to class. Thank you guys so much for watching. Come back for part 4. See you then.